1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, everybody. Hey, everybody.
Good afternoon, or morning, or evening, depending on where you are on planet Earth. I am Bruce Leonard. Of course, it is Wednesday, August 12th. Thank you for tuning in to another hour of Bruce Leonard Leans left while it's still legal. Still legal today, as far as I know. But, you know, things can change rapidly. You're ever asking yourself, you know, what did I get out of that big, beautiful bill? What did I get out of the $90 billion that they gave to ICE? Taser gloves. That's what you're about to get. It's gloves. They're also a taser. Well, I mean, I'm not a taser. I guess like Batman kind of gloves, like that will shoot electricity directly into your body. Yes, let's give these electrified gloves to people who have already shot multiple people in the face. I can foresee no trouble here. Who would invent such a thing? Electro gloves. Seriously. It's like, what kind of sick person comes up with this idea? Let me take a wild guess. Don Jr. Or I like to call Cokie McTrump. They're going to give electrified gloves to these people. Like I said, who've already shot multiple people in the face. And they're putting the body cams on them, but they're saying that they won't give the body cams footage at their discretion. Which means you're never going to see it. They're going to show you a guy shooting a guy in the face. Like, they're not going to show you that. They're going to say, oh, we got an investigation. We can't. Oh, the footage got lost somehow. I think that we've learned one thing from all of this is that the system in America is irrevocably broken. People talk about constitutional crisis. It's a constitutional crisis every single day now. Every day. Like, for instance, I just found out this. Remember when Donald Trump told you that nobody's going to pay for this ballroom, right? No one's going to pay for it. It's all donors. No taxpayer money involved. Then they went to the Congress and said they wanted $400 million for the ballroom. But remember, Congress turned them down. Said no. Well, right after that, Donald Trump just went to the parks budget and peeled off $400 million. He's embezzling money just like he does with his companies. You know, like Capital One shut down 300 bank accounts because they had suspected him of fraudulent money laundering activity of some sort, right? And he's not allowed to bank with Capital One anymore for that reason. But anyway, then he sued him, and then they came out and told the truth that we shut his accounts down because of suspicious money laundering activity, which is another thing that Trump does all the time. He sues people and doesn't realize. You'd think that after so many lawsuits that he's gone through discovery several times now, that he's got to know that when he files a lawsuit against somebody, that they're going to file discovery and try to get his... They sued the BBC. BBC was like, okay, so show us your financial records. And he was like, hey, wait a minute. It kills me how many people still believe that Donald Trump's not a crook. He's the most honest man. So anyway, so you're going to spend at least $900 billion. That's the price tag right now for all of the vanity projects that he's been doing. Gold plating the fucking statues and trying to fix the reflecting pool, which you see fucked that up. And then the helipad thing he's building out in front of. Did you see? They built the helipad a bunch. I don't know how far it was along, but he just walked out and goes, I don't like it. Take it apart. So they tore it back down. And now they're rebuilding it again. It's got to have the presidential seal. It's got to be on it. And the ballroom needs building that the judge already blocked for now and said he's I don't know if you understand the constitutional setup of the U.S. government, but the Congress. We're just talking about what's going on, bro. He's president of the United States. He doesn't own anything of mine. I'm just telling you what's going on. It blows my mind that you don't give a fuck that he's stealing your money. That's what I think is hilarious. When he also send him money or buys fucking stupid meme coins. I mean, how fucking stupid are you people? Like, really? You know as well as I do that if a Democrat president was doing any of this shit, your head would be exploding right now, Jarhead forever. And you know it's true. This guy's a fucking... Anyway, I don't know if you understand how the government is set up, so I'm going to explain it to you real fast, okay? The Congress is supposed to write laws, appropriate money. That should come back, really. Anyway, listen, Jarhead. Maybe you don't understand what's really going on. Maybe if I explain it to you, you will. But I doubt it, because you're obviously a fucking idiot. But anyway, Congress, right, is supposed to represent your district in the Congress, which is supposed to allocate money, write laws, and perform oversight on the executive branch. That's the purpose of the Congress, okay? So, when the Congress allocates money for something, that's what it's for. So, if the Congress allocates $400 million for the Park Service, while you're here, right? It's supposed to go to the Park Service. And Trump comes along and scoops up the $400 million and puts it into his ballroom, which they already told him he couldn't have. He's circumventing the Constitution itself. Don't you understand that, Jarhead? Like, Congress appropriates money, not the president, not the executive branch. They're supposed to carry out the laws that Congress passes and steward these programs. Instead, like I said, he's pilfering money from everywhere he can. Just like he does. What's up, Karim? Really, this is what you're going with? You're talking about Barack Obama now? It's pathetic how you guys would do anything to not talk about what's happening right now. I understand why, because then you have to explain to yourself how you got fucking taken so hard because you're an idiot. That's like... And I know that's got to be hard to try to face and accept. But the fact that you just try to blame everything still on Barack Obama and Joe Biden just shows you're vacant of actual thought. You don't have any. There is no fake laugh. I enjoy doing this. There's nothing review. You see, again, you're wrong about every single thing. I'm sure that's a theme in your life. I don't know why you guys don't get that part. What is that, French or some shit? I'm trying to figure out what kind of fucking trick it is, or just people try to trick you into saying stupid shit. That's happened here a couple times. But Jarhead just thinks I was fake laugh. It said no one watches the show. It's like I actually enjoy doing this, so I laugh. I'm sorry. What is that, Karim? I said, is that Italian or French? How do you say it? Zensi Emre. Whatever that means. We got ourselves a full-on clone here. It's like he's fucking repeating talking points from like 10 years ago. And how much did Joe Biden's son make off of all that? I think it was $50,000. Right? Right? Eric and Donald Trump Jr. got a government contract from their dad for $1.5 billion. And you don't think there's nothing crooked about that? Because you're a disingenuous shitbag. Okay, JM, what's up? Okay. It's been a while. Thanks for coming back. How you been? You been okay? Jarhead was it's 80 grand. That's not true at all. You know what I think is funny? Is it all these people through all these years of my life have gone through all these bullshit. Like same things that happened with Fauci. They're doing the same thing to you that they do all the fucking time. They're gonna go, look, we got his phone, and this is the end. This is it. We got him, and then nothing happens, and it goes away. You got jerked off again. It's like, which I'm sure it's been happening to you your entire life, because none of y'all know how to think about anything. You need to be told. That's why you like a fascist. You like a dictator guy. You like dear leader Trump because he tells you what to do, and he makes you feel tough. He makes you feel, But in reality, the guy you're worshiping is hiding in a fucking deli cart because he's a fucking coward. It's like. He's sending other people on the plane to possibly get killed in his absence. While he sneaks away like a sniveling fucking coward. And you think that this guy's an alpha male. The picture of masculinity. A man who lies to you constantly. And you think that he's telling you the truth still. It's unbelievable. I'm not a Trump fanboy. I said we were just talking about what's going on. Like I said, the fact that you don't want to hear it doesn't mean it ain't true. Hey, Stuart, what's up? I see Bucky's hasn't sued you yet. I'm surprised you haven't got a cease and desist letter. I really am. Is Bucky's aware that you're using their logo? It's like, because they don't take too kindly to that. Anyway, like I said, it's all a fucking last week before my girlfriend went on vacation. What does that even mean? Do you have something to say? Probably not, but I'm curious. Besides some talking point from Sean Hannity's show fucking 9 years ago about Hunter Biden. Nothing is fake, bro. I laugh a lot. Is that a problem? I'm sorry I enjoy life. I know that you, the conservative, the picture of happiness. It's like, oh, come on, LK. You know I'm not a Jew. We've been through this several times. Anyway, and again, even if I was, I'd tell you. I don't know why. How many times I have to say that? It's a nervous tick. No, I've always been this way. I enjoy life. Then let me ask you a question, right? If you think that the conservative way, all these bullshit right wing things that you think are the way for everyone to live, right? Right? Then why are you all such miserable fucks that can't enjoy a goddamn thing? Why is that? Why are you always bitching and complaining about everything? When's the last time you heard a conservative say, hey, something was wonderful and beautiful today, and I really had a good time? Like, no, they go, I went to the zoo and I saw a gay person and it ruined my whole fucking day. Because you're assholes that can't enjoy anything. Yes, okay, Mickey. Catch that chicken raw. Catch it. Stuart says his wife and him are going on vacation Monday. Go, that's cool. That's great. Where are you going? That's the second time you said that, which Jarhead, which proves that your vocabulary is extremely limited. Ellipsis says got cast as FBI SWAT guy, so that's cool. Hey, really? Are you serious? That's awesome. Congratulations. Timu Sam Kennison. Well, you know, you can't get compared to somebody. That's a good comparison. Stuart says those trannies ruin everything. Right? Can't go to Walmart. God damn it. Trannies everywhere. Take this bullshit to the WNBA. You see this shit? This chick that scores her career, I looked it up. Her career average is 8 points a game. So what does she do? She's doing the fifth place swimmer playbook. We're like, her career is not going to last very long because she's not very good. So she's got to do something to get attention and get a career for herself after her basketball career is over, because it's going to be quite short. So what does she do? The trans thing. Out of all the 10 athletes in NCAA who are trans, I don't even know how many are trans men or how many are trans women, but let's say half and half. So let's say 5. Let's say there's 5 trans athletes in the NCAA. And they probably play multiple sports, right? I can't remember hearing that there's a trans basketball player, so I don't even think there is one, right? But still, she's got to be like, only trans people should play in the WNBA. It's like, well, I don't think they're going to. It's like, but of course, you're all fucking stupid and start drooling. Yeah, she doesn't like trans people. She's a hero. And you're going to prop this bitch up. Leonard says Donald Trump is a pedophile. I agree with that. LK says bro enjoys a couple young studs covered on his face. Disgusting. Who's that? Who enjoys that? Ellipsis says, granted, the WNBA is about to become infinitely more interesting. No, that's what I think is funny is, right? They said it was boring. So they let them get physical. The WNBA, I don't know if you grew up watching the NBA. The WNBA is like the NBA used to be. In the 70s and 80s, early 90s, before they took away the hand checking rules and shit. I mean, if Bill Laimbeer was down there, if you drove down the lane, they're going to fucking tackle you. That's like, and that ain't no shit. That's what it was like. So the WNBA is like that, and people are still bitching. Yes, Ellipsis is like Bad Boys Pistons, but I've said I like it. If they're not going to dunk and they're not going to have all this other shit that goes on in the NBA, the least they can do is for it to be entertaining and physical. Nobody wants to watch it. Caitlin Clark dribble the ball down and just stop and shoot a three-pointer and nothing else happens. Why do you think that, Stuart? Like I said, they started this shit up at the point where people were actually watching the fucking game. That you wouldn't be talking about it if it wasn't something. It's way bigger than it ever was, and you got to admit that. Jarhead's not said one thing the whole time, and he's asking me if I'm fucking stupid. I didn't say I liked it. I said it's better than it ever was. There how there aren't any, Blue Apollo. Yes, about how there aren't any. There aren't any men and women's sports. That's the point. Is there even a trans basketball player in the NCAA? Please answer the question. We'll say no. There aren't any. So therefore, there aren't going to be any professional basketball players. There's not even one coming up the pipe. It's like now, if there was a trans basketball player who was in the NCAA right now, yes, I know who Enos Cantor is, Stuart. I know all about him because he used to advocate against the Turkish government. So he was involved in politics. But again, he doesn't have anything to do. I'm not angry at all. See, once again, you're wrong about everything, bro. Your powers of perception are very limited. Ellipsis says it's a win-win. Either we get Gladiator with a basketball or the league folds. I see no downsides. Blue Apollo says that's one of the points that I could never hop on because I really don't care. Women's sports is boring to me. Right. All these people who are talking about it, that's what they think too. They don't care. They don't care. There's 10, actually, Blue Apollo in the NCAA, but that's across all sports. There's 500,000 athletes in the NCAA. There's 5 trans people. I'm sorry, 10. There's 10 trans. We were just talking about that. And I don't know how many of them are trans men or trans women. So I said, let's say there's 5 of each for statistical purposes. And like I said, you watch women's college basketball, there's not a trans basketball player. You would have heard of it. Most of them fucking probably throw shot put or some shit on the track team. Speaking of that, did you see the Patriot game, Blue Apollo? It said, oh, the finest athletic competition we could find in this country. Not a brown person in sight. Not even a token. I didn't even see a token. Who's the whitest fucking bitch? Look like a Smith family picnic. Unbelievable. Stuart, but you didn't listen to the thing I just said. There aren't any transgenders in the NBA, WNBA, and they're not going to be. It's a made-up issue. It's a bullshit story. It's just another way for fucking losers to get their name out there and get a bunch of attention on social media and go on TV. Royce White, he only did it because he knew he was going to lose that Senate primary last night, and his career was basically over. So Enos Cantor did that thing, and then Royce White hacked his bit. He's like, yeah, me too. Because he's desperate for attention. Don't you guys get that? Blue Apollo says Pierce Morgan hosts debates on it a lot. His wife posts a story of a dude in a bikini caption. When the husband's away, Mr. Suds come down to play. You'd be surprised how many. Like I said, there's a vast array of different kinds of kinks and fetishes. Like every guy that dresses not the same. Like some of them are actually straight dudes who like to wear dresses. They're like Eddie Izzard. I think Eddie Izzard probably swings both ways, but I'm saying he's a transvestite, which is different than a drag queen or a transsexual. Thank you, Diane. I appreciate that. Ellipsis says, sounds like Christy knows husband. Well, that's the other thing is, we were talking about this on the last episode. There's so many of these people who advocate against the things that they do, but they just do them in secret. Like I said, it's like they want to be in the closet. It's like, that seems like another kind of fetish. Like, they enjoy this undercover lifestyle, and then they don't mind that. Richard says Scottish people. What about Scottish people? They came in Boston and drank all the beer. Did you hear that story? Which is stupid. Well, that's a whole other thing. Behind that story is the Strait of Hormuz. A lot of people don't know that. The reason why they didn't have enough beer for the Scottish people was because Trump had locked down the Strait of Hormuz is closed. So a lot of helium that they use to make fizz and beer and shit is comes through the Strait of Hormuz. So there was a shortage of that. So the breweries couldn't brew beer because they didn't have any carbonation. Once again, Trump. Blue Paul says, did you see? Yes, I saw it. He was hiding in the deli cart. The funniest part about that whole story is that he left the other people there. He left Rubio and Stephen Miller and the whole press corps and all the cooks and people that work for him, the staff basically on the Air Force One. He left them on the plane and they just took off. So basically they were human bait. They could have all got shot out of the sky. And he just ran off with the Pete Hegseth and the chick who fucking prints out his social media for him. It's also fucking weird. Did you hate Blue Puff? You seen the girl that there was this weird girl standing next to the Oval Office desk, right? And she had her hand on her stomach. The way she was standing was very weird to begin with, but she had her hand on her stomach. Right, like this. And then Trump started nodding off. And she fucking moved her hand on her stomach and he fucking jumped up. And there's like a theory that she's the zapper now. Like she's there to make sure he doesn't fall asleep. And then he's got some kind of electrical zapper like a dog collar. They see him nodding off. They zap him. He wakes up. Now, I don't know if that's a true story, but that's what they were running with on the internet. That she's the zapper. But it was weird because I said she was standing there with her hand on her stomach, which is weird to begin with. And then every time he nodded off, her hand moved and he jumped up. And like I can see where the theory came from. And then second of all, I was like, who is this person? She looked like a robot, really. Lipsis says, it's Trump's answer for anything. Bring on more bimbos. We did. Yes, I saw Caroline Levitt is leaving. He's going to have a hard time finding someone who can lie like that. Like, I don't like her, but I'll give her credit. She's a smooth fucking bullshit artist. It's like she can spew lies with the best of them. Blue Power says Fuentes was having a good laugh at that. But he was saying, God forbid that happened. Hindsight would be 2020 because all of his assassination plots were given to us by Israel. Right? What do you mean? What do you mean, God forbid that happened? God forbid, like I said, that they blew up the Air Force One with Trump wasn't in it, but all the White House press corps, all the reporters from all the papers and magazines and TV stations. There's a whole fucking gaggle of them. Ellipsis says Laura Loomer for press secretary of the entertainment value alone. That bitch is crazy, though. She's nuts. Like I said, Caroline Levitt could stand there with a straight face and lie through her fucking teeth all day. Convincingly. She tell you the sky's green and make it sound believable. I bet she get an Oscar. Meanwhile, he's trying to get Janine Pirro to fire back up these cases on the reflecting pool vandalism after she already dismissed them. So they convened a special grand jury today in the District of D.C. Now, nobody really knows why, but it's so they can try to cook up some more cases against these people. Trump doesn't want to let that Olympic guy go now. He's He's in the sights. He's on the list, the enemy's list. People. That's what kills me is these people like the Jarhead dude earlier. You know, the nut lickers. They don't even care that. What you gotta understand is, ooh, Lipsa says he'll tap Erica Kirk. Could see her leaving Turning Points. This is dumpster fire. Yeah, but again, I've seen her talking. I don't think she's smooth as Caroline Levitt. Blue Pile says, what media do I watch? Ben Shapiro was on PBD today. It was a really good conversation, I thought. I read the internet a lot, and I flip back and forth between like MS Now and CNN, and I watch PBS NewsHour. Blue Pile says, much as I dislike him, I think he's sincere on his views. Well, a lot of these guys are sincere on their views, but they're wrong. Demonstrably wrong in lots of times, lots of ways. You forget that everything these people say is on tape. It's just like what's his name, Hassan Piker. He's a big topic now, right? Because he was running around and he's trying to get involved in Democratic politics, right? But you got to remember that this guy's going on the air for, I think it's 3 hours a day for years now. There's so much tape of him saying ridiculously fucking stupid shit. And because he was trying to get famous, I'm sure a lot of it is provocative on purpose because he's trying to get clicks and views on the internet. So whether or not he truly believes all this crazy shit he says is hard to say. But the point is, there's a record of it. It's different when you're just a streamer guy who's just talking on the internet. But once you want to get involved in serious politics, people are going to start looking at all the shit you said. It's like that chick last night in Minnesota, right? The Asian chick, a Hong or whatever, like this, the one that said dumb shit, like cancel, get rid of Thanksgiving and dumb shit like that. Somebody abolishing police, like it's ridiculous. Blue Plow says he's a terrible. Stewart says, that's the problem with liberals. No, I was getting ready to tell you, Stewart, that's not true. I also look at Fox, and for years I listened to Sean Hannity and them on the radio, and here all they have is right-wing radio. So if you turn on your radio, it's right-wing. The problem with you guys is your machine has gotten too finely tuned. All you have to do is turn on Fox News and read Facebook, and you know what the entire right-wing media machine is talking about. You don't have any diversity of ideas. What you have is people that send a fax out across this whole entire fucking thing, and they just repeat the talking points of the day. Period. That's what happens in right-wing media. So don't be acting like that's not how it goes. Lipsa says Jimmy Dore, the Duran, the Young Turks, Owen Schroeder are all good options. Yeah. I'm an older guy, so I don't, I'm doing this now. It's like, I don't hardly ever, I watch in my real feed, I'll see clips of podcasters and people talking about. Most podcasts are full of shit. I mean, you got to admit. A lot of them. I mean, there's a lot of good ones now, I guess, like the Midas Touch and Pod, what is it? Pod Save America. That are more like serious news programs than the old kind, but like podcasts like Rogan and shit, bullshit. Blue Paw says, I don't really like Owen Schroyer, but I don't have a good reason. It's a far right guy. We don't accept him. Stewart says we need diversity, equity, and inclusion. It's racist. What? What's racist? I love how you guys act like that without that, black people, brown people, women wouldn't have advanced at all, because the only reason it exists is because it was proven that that people didn't hire people based upon their merit. What you want is the old system back where everybody's white. Where the colored people knew their place. You know, that's what y'all want. I mean, I don't know why you can't just be honest about it. It's everything you say. Like I said, your boy Brandon Gill, that's all he talks about all the time. That's like, it's interesting how quickly you turn yourselves into victims. Blue Pop says, I disagree with it, but I have a really good argument against it. Well, you know, I think that you could take it away if you had laws that said, hey, if we can come in here and prove that you've intentionally discriminated against people, then you're going to go to jail for a while. Like, and then maybe people wouldn't do it. There's never any consequence. See, this is the problem. Same as Donald Trump. There's no accountability in this country for anything anymore. You just let people do whatever. Blue Pop says, I think that assumes women and minorities can't do the jobs they're able to do, so they hire more of them to make it look like they're able to do it fine. Puts them down and says, see, I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. That's not true. I think it's just like the trans thing and whatever, the immigrant thing. It's like, most of it's bullshit, you know. It's fear-mongering bullshit. It's designed to divide people. You can look at the history of this country honestly and tell me that you don't think that people were discriminated against because it's blatantly, it's factual. You could prove it. Whatever, Stuart. I'm not here to talk about DEI because I think it's fucking dumb. Like I said, it's just another thing for y'all to get all fucking ginned up about. Ken says, looking at the color card thing is wrong. Yeah, but it is. I mean, but see, it was. Because for years and years and years, white people didn't hire black people. Or women. And if they did, they kept them in the lowest. They didn't give any opportunity to advance. And that's just a fact. They discriminate against them in housing. They say you can't put they can't buy this house in this neighborhood because we don't want too many black people in this neighborhood. Yeah, because they're fucking racist, Blue Apollo. That's the point. That's my point all the time. Is it's like we got to get out past this. It doesn't make it right. It's relevant to most people. I said it doesn't make it right. See, again, you can't put yourself in the position of a black person who actually maybe worked their way to being somewhat successful, had some money, went looking at houses. It was like, hey, I really like this house, want to buy it. And then somebody says, yeah, we don't want your kind living in this neighborhood. And you can sit here and tell me that that's right? Ellipsis says, poor hillbillies in West Virginia, Bloods and Compton both get fucked by the bankers. They're the common enemy. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But see, that's what this is all about. The DEI and the Muslim takeover. And it's to keep you from realizing that we're all the same. But they are. Stewart says, just because someone racist with losing an argument works every time for Democrats. I never do that, and I never said that. I have a fucking rational point for my argument. I didn't call him a racist. It's because of racists that these rules exist. That's what I did. You don't understand. Yes, Blue Apollo, but we already had this discussion. It's a systematic thing. And then until you actually, but see, that's the problem is we don't ever look at the systematic reasons. That's why this country's failing. We don't look at the systematic problems we have and really try to figure out how to solve them. We're always putting band-aids over gaping, lacerated wounds. And that's what we did after the Civil War, and that's what this all is bubbling up fucking infection. It's the shit that's still there. We never got rid of it. Because the truth is, they should have ran Reconstruction all the way to the end. Yes, Adam Birdman. What's up? Timu Christopher Lee. Earlier, the guy called me Timu Sam Kinnison. So I've gotten 2 Timus today, and both cool people. That's like, yes, ellipsis. There's shit that's happened to blacks that have affected them for generations. South Chicago, etc. They have like Tulsa. Have reverberations today, same as the coal miners who were forgotten and now addicted to meth. Yes, exactly. I have black lung. What do you mean, blue collar? What can they do? The system's set up this way. No, you know what they did? They got themselves together and they said, you know what? We'll just make our own community when we become successful. And that's what they did in Tulsa. They made a place called Black Wall Street. You ever heard of this? They had their own banks, they had everything. They were thriving and making lots of money. What happened? When the white people came in there and burned it down. Because they didn't want the uppity blacks. And that's 100% true. Facts. See, Donald Trump, then they don't want you to talk about that. They want to say, America's not a racist country, even though there's racist laws. Only a racist country would create Jim Crow laws. Only a racist country would have to have a civil war about if people can be enslaved or not. Where the actual human beings only count for 1/3 of a human being. It's fucking racist, bro. And just to deny that is to just deny reality, like I said. And again, they try to mind fuck you when you talk about it by saying to you, well, you must be ashamed of being white, or you feel like a guilt, white guilt, they say. It's like, I'm not guilty of anything. I don't feel shame at all. But there's no shame or guilt in telling the truth. The truth will set you free. That's a fucking like a cliche line, but it is true. The reason why this country is failing is because we've fallen farther and farther back into lies and bullshit instead of telling the truth and facing our fucking problems. That's the real issue, if you ask me. Ellipsis says, and the bankers couldn't have that and ginned up the racial side to remove competition. Try and look for root causes. Same reason we attack anyone not in Swift. Yeah, but yes. Yeah, black people had their own banks, and yeah, exactly. It's competition for the other banks. So, there was part of the reason why they did that. They burned the place down. Completely destroyed it. And like I said, again, they buried the story, too. Oh, my God. You're going all the way back to the fucking 1700s? Okay, Manny, go find me a Klan member who's a Democrat. I'll wait. Matter of fact, go to a Klan rally right now and call them a bunch of Democrats. And see what happens to you. Check it out. It's like... Me too, Ken. I get along with everyone. That's the point. Stuart, the truth, like men can't become women. Like I said, why do you care? Why are you so obsessed with what another man does with his penis? Or even if he decides he don't want it no more. Why do you care so much about that? I'd like to, that to me seems like some kind of weird mental fucking thing. It's like, why do you care? Right? You think that if one person out of, I don't even know, it's like they're less than 1% of the population. I never really did the math, but let's say one person out of like 500,000, let's say, decides that they want to live their life as a woman, right? Why does that one person bother you so fucking much? What does that mean, Blue Apollo? Because if you give those people an inch and take a mile, what does that mean? Listen, Stuart, you obviously don't know any of these people. Do I understand it? No. But if you actually know someone, then you know somewhere in their mind, that's what they think. And who gives a fuck? What does that mean? How are they invading you, Blue Apollo? That's what I don't understand. They're not. They're not. I'll answer that for you. They're not. When's the last time a trans person was involved in your life in any fucking way? Please tell me. Yes, Stan Durko, that is true. He says if Trump said transgender people were great, Megan would be okay with it. Yes, because it's a cult. It's something I can't wrap my fucking head. And again, like I tried to explain to Stuart, which he doesn't understand, obviously. He's like, oh, watch all these right-wing media. It's like, dude, they all say the same shit. They all get the same script in the morning, and they from that morning till the night, they repeat that script across all channels and all podcasts and all the things that they got going on. And then in the morning, they get a new script, and they start talking about that. It's not even clever. It's a machine. It's a brainwash machine. It's not a idea generator of any kind. They don't have any different ideas. They only bring on the dumbest people who have different ideas, or the softest that they could push around or that they could ridicule. Ellipsis says, what affects you more? Some dude in a dress, or you getting drafted for World War III? Monetary policy? Nope. Let's just worry about an edge issue that Republicans blow out of proportion to keep you distracted. Yes, exactly. Karma says UFOs. Any thoughts? I think that they exist. I mean, aliens got to exist, don't you think? I think they fly by here and go, look at them. Don't go down there. They are not ready. Or they'll try to kill you, this fucking dumb motherfuckers. Blue Apollo says, ellipsis, there's never going to be a Democrat-Republican alliance because we fundamentally disagree on our core values. Things we do disagree on. We disagree for different and opposite reasons. Sad, but the separation between parties is very real. Well, yeah. But the truth is, y'all hate everything. Y'all hate gay people. Y'all hate trans people. Y'all hate immigrants. Y'all hate Islam. Y'all hate... I always wonder what it must be like to be a real conservative. Just a cowardly pussy who's terrified of every fucking thing around him at all times. It's like I said, they can't go to the fucking zoo with his kids and go, oh my God, I seen somebody I didn't like. You like the kids in the 70s, or like you saw a punk rocker or something, like, oh no, I saw somebody with a nose ring and green hair and it ruined my fucking day. You know, it's like, because you're an assholes. You can't just be like, oh look, there's a strange person, and go on about your fucking day. You know, no, you can't. You gotta take it all to heart. That's like. Dave Fox Utica says, check out my new song, A Place That Never Was. Cool. I will. Is it on YouTube or something? Blue Paul says, hate is a very strong word. Well, what do you call it? When you talk about, like, did you hear Trump talk about Somali people yesterday? Vile racist things, he said. Like, no, they're stupid and they're it's like, dude. He probably doesn't even know any Somalis. Ilhan Omar, regardless you think about her, she came here with nothing and built herself into a congressperson that you've heard of. That she got to be fucking smart on some kind of level, don't you think? Ellipsis says, if the left could work with guys like Massey, it'd be great. You connect on issues like Epstein, military, etc., but you got to have gun control as a party. Become blue dogs. No, yeah, but the same thing. Ro Khanna and Thomas Massey working together. Ro Khanna's a progressive Democrat. See, the problem with Massey, I've said this before, is Massey has 50% excellent ideas And the other 50% of his ideas are complete garbage, and it's all fucking right wing bullshit. Blue Plow says, I could never. The problem with Massey is he was a loser from the beginning. Yes, he still has values, but he only appeals to millennials and slightly older. That's not really true. He came in with that Tea Party movement. He stayed around a long time. Nobody even here's a secret that I'll tell you, Blue Apollo. Nobody even knows this fucking Ed Galrine dude. Trump just pulled him out of his ass. No one even knows who he is. They just voted for him because Trump told them to. Same as these people that voted for Lindsey Graham's sister down in South Carolina, but you notice she didn't get. There was like 4 candidates, and she got like 30 something. Yes, ellipsis. Massey got ousted by Israel. Yes. Then I'm so glad AIPAC spent, like they said, I think they said $40 million trying to convince people to vote for that Han chicken in Minnesota last night. No, I don't think it's Minnesota, in Wisconsin. Yes, Wisconsin. And she lost, so AIPAC just burned up $40 million and didn't get anything. Blue Apollo says, same with Tucker. It only appeals to people like Dave Smith or libertarians. Neither the far right nor the far left want to have a coalition, and those are the loudest voices. These middle guys have no chance. Yes, well, but that's why I've been telling you the whole time is what you're going to do is create even more left-wing extremists. Don't you see that? It's a self-defeating prophecy. You're just creating more of what you fucking don't want. By being extreme yourself. The more extreme you are, the more they're going to go more to the left. Stan Durko says, President's job is to preside over the country, not do as I say or you are an enemy. Yeah, what? But see, Trump isn't like that. Trump likes these strongman dictators, and that's what he wants. That's what I think is funny is what conservatives want you to do now is vote for Congress people who aren't going to do their jobs. They ain't no shit. The guy goes, I love Donald Trump. I would just rubber stamp everything he does. It's like, well, then you're not really doing your job, are you? But that's what they want. It's vacant fucking people, nut lickers who will do what they're told in those seats. They don't want real Congress people who are going to hold people to account and do their fucking jobs, represent their districts. Which is why I think it's funny that they've convinced the average mega jerk-off or conservative that if you just let Donald Trump do whatever he wants, that's going to be good for you. Even though all basic metrics have shown that it's not good for you. Now he's down to, like I said, he's down to the cult now at 32% or something approval rating. But a lot of these fucking jerk-off people and people in the middle, they're still going to vote for Republicans, even though they're really just voting for a rubber stamp for Trump, who they claim to not like. But because of tribalism and the two-party system, they're just going to rubber stamp their vote. Or go, can't make it. Or they lose the election and Trump decides he doesn't like it somehow and he's going to try to do something. Ellipsis says, yeah, that's right where I sit at. Dave Smith is the closest. Populism must take over on both wings. Blue says, I asked who you watch media-wise earlier because I'm pretty confident Ben Shapiro and Nick are going to debate. Have no proof, but PBD seemed to talk Ben into it. Nick said he was going for a collaboration the next 2 days. He goes on this fucking air every single day. See, that's what I mean. I can't see how these guys, they said, how you could do this constantly all the time. 24 hours a fucking day. I'm not going to. That's what I mean. The guy needs to fucking take a couple days off. Go out and get laid. You know, that's like you can come back a different person. And I would like to ask the same question of any conservative. If like I said, if you think that your way of living is so great, then how come none of you are happy? You're all chasing some bullshit fucking fantasy or a materialistic fucking thing, or, it's all shallow and meaningless. Lipson says, I'm excited for Candace to push in Andrew Wilson shit on Friday. What? What do you mean? I don't know what that means, Sixth, but I'm not a Jew. Blue Pile says, I'm sorry, but Andrew is going to dedicate. You mean decimate? This is not going to be fair. No, but that's what I mean. A lot of these people aren't even good or smart. I was thinking about that today. It's like my show has grown since I started doing it, but it is by far has not blown up or be blowing up or anything like that. But you watch a lot of these other shows, and you're like, this show's just as interesting as any of those other shows. I think if anything, it's more because I'm more interactive and actually listen to what you guys are saying, and we bounce these things. But it doesn't work because, like that lady said before, is like, oh, I'm not all hateful and saying like ridiculous shit like Hassan Piker, like it saying dumb shit. Blue Pot says, it doesn't look bad to take $300,000 to debate whether your best friend's murder story is accurate. I think that, like I said, all these people are shitbags. They don't have any souls. Everything's about money. That's another problem in this country. Is the culture is built on everything's about money. That's why Trump's allowed to get away with all this shit. People go, well, look at me. Why not? He's a businessman. Why not? Why can't he sell his true? Sandoka says, I like your stream because you interact with everyone. That's what I mean. I think that's far more interesting than me just yelling at you. Do a camera on the for an hour. I actually am. There's no real point to the show. I guess that's what I'm saying. It's not like, oh, I'm setting out to brainwash you somehow, or I'm going to tell you it was right or wrong. It's like it's supposed to be entertaining and informative. And I will tell you the news is going on, tell you what I think about it, but I don't mean like, oh, you gotta. Most of the people that watch this show don't think like me at all, and I think that's great. But you notice, there's like Stuart was saying that we're all living in a bubble. You notice there's not really a lot of left wing. There's not thousands of left wing people surrounding y'all. It's just me talking to whoever wants to talk. There's no bubble. You know what I mean? Like, ellipsis. Now, I do wish that some of you would tell other people and bring some people. So I feel like there's some growth going on. But Ellipsis says Andrew just does rhetorician stuff. There's too much evidence is out there that she put out not to be real. Too much Israel going on. You want to remember exploding pagers, road mics, same size. Yeah. I don't know, man. Then where'd they get that guy from? Mike says hello. Hello. Thanks for tuning in, Mike. Who's that in your picture? Nicolas Cage? Let's say. I don't know. I think that everybody wants to make everything into a conspiracy these days. No, I do not. I do not. I think the Austrian painter was an asshole, same as most of these people. Blue Pause is like some of the Groypers here, but I guarantee you won't like it. Why? You think they'll crush me intellectually or something? That's like, you don't think I don't like the fencing? They might not like me. I don't care who watches this show. I just need numbers. Blue Plow says yes. You think that? See, I wouldn't expect you to say that, Blue Apollo. That surprises me. That truly does. Mike says, do I think that Germans are inherently evil? No. No. I don't think anybody's inherently evil. That's what I'm saying. That, I mean, as far as a race or whatever. Ellipsis says, I grew up on 4chan. Groypers are children. Mike says, I think that we should pay reparations for slavery under the condition that anyone who takes it must return to Africa. I think they offered that after the Civil War. I think Abraham Lincoln and them were talking about, yes, Stuart, bullshit like that. Yes, Blue Apollo, that is true. Conservative means I want to prevent progress recognizing people's rights because that would reduce my unfair advantage. I just want to conserve my privilege. It's unethical and greedy. M100 ABC. Yes, I basically said that on the last episode. You know, it's like Game of Thrones. They're like, hold the door. They're holding off fucking modernism in the modern world. They don't like change. Stan Durko says, when people start crying out about transgender people, I usually just block them. They're blinded by one person's statements, right? Mike says, Fauci is evil. See, let me ask you a question. Why do you think that Fauci spent his whole life saving people's lives? And then at the very end, you think that he did something like that? Blue Power says, Fauci's an old man who got a lot of clout. Then going after him is a joke. He was a mascot and that's it. But that's what I mean. No, he's just a convenient scapegoat, which is the right is great at fucking grabbing a scapegoat and trying to blame everything on them, you know. Like, Ellipsis says 40 acres and a mule under Lincoln. No, right, but there was also a program that was proposed at the time, was to give them reparations and send them all back. They even were trying to get ships together, take them back. Mike says it shouldn't be paid by the government. It should be paid by Southern families who actually own slaves. Oh, you mean the Heritage Foundation? Yes, it should. Mike says Fauci. See, that proves to me that you know nothing about Fauci. He said Fauci never saved lives. No, that's not true. Fauci was... Ellipsis says, I mean, Fauci was responsible for AIDS too. Either he is evil or stupid. He wasn't responsible for it. No one really knows where AIDS came from. It just came out of nowhere. I don't think they've ever really proven. Same as Ebola. They've never really definitively said where Ebola came from. Stewart, because he pardoned a bunch of people. Because he knew that Trump was going to do exactly what he's doing now, which is go after people. Well, we've talked about this before, Mike, a bunch of times on this show. It's like, in the beginning of the pandemic, no one really knew what they were doing. And they did a bunch of conflicting shit come out. Yes, because they were throwing shit against the wall. They didn't really know what was going on. That's ripe and easy to turn it into a conspiracy. They go, well, he must have been lying to you on purpose. You know, like, it's like, but come on. Trump himself gave him a medal. That's what people like Stewart conveniently forget. Trump was the president. Trump gave Fauci a medal for doing such a good, saying he did such a good job. And now all of a sudden it's all his fault. You know, you're all such disingenuous shitbags. That's what I say. Like, Mike says, what's a groyper? A young right wing. I don't know. Let Blue Apollo talk about it. Mike says the black problem. What do you mean by that? The problem. Blue Apollo says you're asking if the Austrian painter was right, but you don't know what a groyper is. God bless your normie soul. Stay innocent. The groypers are what I was warning people about in 2015. The real Nazis that live in this country. And the ones that have been groomed up by the internet. When you can find their deep, dark holes. I know, Blue Apollo, I've been there. Where they fucking post pictures of fucking gas and ovens and helicopter memes and Peppy the Frog's all over the place, and they talk about what they really want to do. See, I used to go in there and tell them that there'll always be someone like me out there in the street to cleave their fucking skull open. So get on out there if you think that there ain't gonna be no one out there, because there will be. Personally, I'm tired of all the talking. If you guys are, if you really want to get it on, we should just get it on and get it over with. I don't want that to happen, but I'm saying all this fucking bullshit fucking around is just say what you want. I don't support Israel either, Mike. Ken says, leave him alone. What do you mean? It's a simulation. Says, what do I think about flat cameras? I think that 1984 was correct. I think that before you know it, you're going to have all this shit. Blue Apollo says, yes, I met a lot of weirdos in movement. I, along with Nate, have disavowed them because they're a scum among us. Yes. But see, but you're catering to them by selling them. You have ideas. Yes, Blue Apollo. That's one of the reasons why I got kicked out of I got banned for life from Facebook, was because I fucked with them so much that they all hated me. They all got together across multiple pages and groups, and they all decided to all start coming to my page and just reporting every single thing I did, until eventually, they'd lure you into an argument, and then you'd say something and they'd report your comment. Mike says, I think it's sad how we're supposed to have constitutional rights, but it seems like the government undermines everywhere they possibly can. Yes. And some people cheer for it. And now they're going to give them electro gloves. That's what I was talking about in the beginning. Have you heard about this, Mike? Electrical gloves that shock you, like taser gloves. So let's give these to these people who have already shot a bunch of people in the face. Mike says, was it a conspiracy, Bruce? What a conspiracy? What's up, Gnarly? Of course you can. Was what a conspiracy, Mike? What do you ask me? Did I miss something? 4chan? Yeah, I think it was. So it was like, I don't know if you watched that thing on Netflix. There was a documentary where they tracked down. It was that dude that fucking trolley dude and his son that was doing the QAnon thing. And yeah, it's a mind up. It's a psyop. It's to fuck with your head. He says, I wonder how long until they shack themselves in the junk, Bruce. I don't know. It's like I said before. If you know anything about history, this happens all the time. Like right in these types of, Danielle has a whole thing about it, but it's true. Yes, Mike, he was. Technology is evil. Yes, he was right, but what he did wasn't right, of course. And why? Why you go? I got this theory, and I'm right about it, and I know the way to get to people is to blow up a bunch of random people in the mail. That's the part that he went off the rails, that's like. He wasn't wrong with his predictions of what technology was going to do to mankind. This is true. He says, I support ICE. Ken's here, Blue Apollo, but I don't know where Julie is. And Laura's in Hawaii visiting her son. Stan Durko says, I never thought that being a disabled person, I would be attacked for wearing a blue hat. Sometimes an old disabled man isn't so helpless. Wasn't even a Democrat. Taser deployed. Father interacted with the party that would compile a photo of movies, JPEG files, and now the younger party formed anonymous. Yes. Nacho says 4chan was a hotspot for a bunch of shit. It was. But also, those people were expressly trying to fuck with people's minds and create the cult of Trump. And they did. They went January 6th. Mike says he sent out those packages because he wanted them to publish his manifesto. Well, he got his fucking wish, but I'm pretty sure he could have probably got that manifesto published without blowing up a bunch of people. We're not talking about that favorite. We're not talking about the Oklahoma City. We're talking about the Unabomber. And I've already said a bunch of times, blowing up people is wrong, no matter what you're doing it for. Violence is wrong. Violence is no way to solve anything. Unless you got no other choice. You're being overwhelmed, but I'm saying, even if you could say, that's what I just said, Mike. Shut up, Stuart. See, that's when you're fucking ridiculous. Blue Pop says, I'm just perplexed. You joked about the Austrian painter, but disagree with Ice. Right? Well, he didn't really. He asked. He asked me what I thought. He didn't say that he thought he was right. I think you missed. Ace says Trump is a goy for Israel, and I agree. I agree with that too, to a certain extent. Mike says, Blue, learn to take a joke. He's a right winger, dude. Right wingers that. I don't know if you've seen any right wing humor. It's not it's not the funniest. And again, he didn't say that he agreed. He asked me if I thought he was right. That doesn't imply anything that he thinks. Blue Pile says, yeah, it was a joke, though. That's why I said it, a joke. Usually that comes from my kind of people. Not all of us are so uptight. Blue, you should know that. That's what I mean is when you pigeonhole people and label people and you put them in these groups, which is what you do all the time. It's like, some of us don't belong in any of these groups. I don't like groups of people, bro. There ain't long before a group gets 3, 4, 5 people, and I start not agreeing with it because there's always some jerk off trying to. It's like if you're an independent thinker, you're not into it. I asked you that before, Stuart. If you could explain to me what the purpose was, what they were trying to do. And that's the problem with these conspiracy theories. All your conspiracy theories the same. If there's a conspiracy, there's got to be a reason why. And you guys seem to think that, like for the pandemic, for example, you guys seem to think that on purpose they decided to unleash a pandemic and shut down the entire world economy and disrupt all supply chains across the whole world. No one did that. There's no fucking point to it. Mike says, I think it makes more sense that they knew and allowed it to happen so they could use it as a pretext evasion. No, that's what I said. I don't think it was an inside job. Mike said my theory 100% because they did know that it was going to happen. Yes, Stuart, you were correct. And I agree with you on that. I say it all the time, too. All human beings are shitbags, bro. Mike says, have you ever heard the theory that Amelia Earhart was captured by the Japanese Navy and executed? No, I have not. Mike says he rid the world of hunger. Yeah, but that's a different wish. Stan Dirk, yes, exactly. Whatever happened, it's Joe Biden's fault. That seems to be the standard mode of operation now. But that's what I mean is you listen to the politics of today. I don't have a criminal history, Draco. As a matter of fact, it passed I worked security in Las Vegas, passed multiple background checks of numerous levels. I worked at the Super Bowl, which is high max security. You can't work there if you have... Blue Pop says, hang out with Klaus Schwab for an hour. You'll hate humanity for sure. Everything is all our faults, Mike, because we allow this to happen. That's the part I don't get, is why we allow it to happen. I think what we've learned from modern politics, right, is that the Constitution only worked when we all agreed on it, like a silent contract. We were going to obey these rules. And Trump came along and said, fuck the rules. And 1/3 of this country, or a little more, was like, yeah, fuck the rules. And they proved that those rules were. Nixon shouldn't even resign. They weren't going to fucking impeach him, get rid of him. They said they'll never impeach a president. If they, all the shit that's happened, that they even impeach Donald Trump after January 6th, it wouldn't even convict him. So no one's ever getting impeached or removed from office. No one's ever getting 25th Amendment. Like, these things are just there to be for the appearance that we are better than other countries, but we're not. Mike says, I think people are afraid because we all have something to lose. Right. It's like White Riot. Like I said, that line in White Riot, I say all the time. He's like, white people don't want to go to jail. Like, black people in the civil rights movement were willing to get arrested and go to jail because they were really fighting for something. Now, there was a few white people that went down there. It was like, oh, help me. They went to jail or whatever. But the majority of people, white people, didn't care. That's why Martin Luther King always said, they talk a big game, but they ain't there for them. They're not going to do anything. Yes, Christopher, the Clash. Stewart says we're not a good country. I say it a bunch of times. Stewart, you should know this. The idea of America is the greatest thing that's ever been thought. As far as liberty and freedom and the concepts, therefore, and to break. Hey, Javi, thank you. To break out of the old systems that we lived in before the modern era. And like I said, that's why they always say that America represents beacon of liberty and freedom. But at the same time, we had slaves. The country's never been what they sell it to you as. The idea, I have always said, it's a grand experiment. It had never been tried before. It's only 250 years old, which is small in historical terms. It's already fallen apart. Because we can't live up to the ideals that they set down, because they couldn't even live up to them at the time they were setting them down. Maybe it was unrealistic to begin with. Blue Paws is the majority of population committing less crime per capita than the minority, unheard of. See, but that's what I mean. But that's a bullshit red herring argument, which you yourself, by admitting that they live in a different circumstance. There's more crime in the ghetto because more poor people concentrated together. And they're all scrambling for whatever they can get. So that creates more crime. They commit more crime than a bunch of rich people who are just living there, having barbecues in their backyard. I never said that, Stuart. That's what people are telling you. I never sat here and said I want to tear this country apart. Have I? And I've even said, personally myself, I think some of the things that Hassan Piker has said are stupid. I think what that chick said in Wisconsin about Thanksgiving and abolishing police is stupid. I don't agree with it. Stan Urkel says America's becoming so divided, I don't know if it can be repaired quickly. It's always been. We had a civil war. I don't know if you remember that. Nacho says the right parts of government have been ready for the fall. They've been past repairing it for decades. Yeah, well, that's the problem, is they haven't addressed any of these problems. You realize this? Whether they're talking about all this stuff, right? There's 200 bills on AI. They're just sitting there. They haven't even taken up these bills. They haven't voted on them for sure. 200 bills. They're just bagging up. because they don't want to regulate the AI business. Why? Because AI is fucking pouring money into Trump, and see, Blue Apollo, that's wrong. I wanted to tell you. Listen, this. It's not about black people, but go watch a movie called American Me with Edward James Olmos. Okay, it's about the Mexicans on the West Coast and how the Mexican mafia was founded in prison. But it's a lot of background story about Mexicans and why it was. Oh my God! Yeah, the professional wrestler. You're such a fucking clone, Stuart. I like you, but goddamn. Blue Apollo says parents don't encourage him to learn in school. A lot of fathers leave the home along with the already living in poverty. It's not as systematic as it may have to be. I think blaming it on the nurture just an easy excuse to stay in the cycle. Well, let me throw you down in there. See how you fucking fare. Wesley says, I don't know who you think you are, sir. Excuse me, sir, you've been rude and downright racist. What are you talking about, racist? What did I say it was racist? I didn't say nothing racist. So, well, then you're either just ignoring it or, it's complex. It's not simple as, and a lot of it takes, like I said, taking responsibility for seeing how things really are, which is shitty. Blue Pots, I saw it before. You choose to do good or not. Right, but we always say, Neo says, Bruce Center, don't lie, you're an Italian, aren't you? See? It's better than I said. Most of you swing it here. Just call me a Jew right away. Fucking Jew. It's like I've always said that. I said before. I was like, I go a swarthy Mediterranean. Wesley says non-Aussie Bruce should be a crime, right? I'd take Australian citizenship and move over there. But you see, Romper Stomper, they got Nazis over there too. That's what Daniele told me. He's like, I was like, man, I want to leave this country. He's like, oh, don't think that when you get over there, you're more on track than you think there, Neil. Nacho Group says, wish we knew more about the advanced human tech, though. What do you mean? Well, they got Elon Musk in charge of putting chips in people's brains. Whatever happened to that? You ever notice that? Neuralink kind of just fell off the table, didn't it? You don't hear about that anymore, do you? And Elon Musk is all them promises. Oh, it's the same as self-driving cars. We're going to paralyze people walking by next week. It's like, no, he isn't. No, it's more close to Lenny Bruce, bro, Neil. It's an homage. Nacho Group says, wish we knew, right, the advanced human tech. But that's what I'm saying. What happens to the Neuralink? You ever notice that? It's gone. When's the last time you ever heard Neuralink? I think they put one in somebody, but they never said what happened to him. Couldn't have been good if you see his rockets. It's like, one day his head just exploded. Niels is in the 90s. You had a phase when you found Elaine hot. I know this. What? From Seinfeld? Of course. You don't think she was hot? She was hot. Blue Apollo says there's theories about the pyramids basically being power plants. They were built with sounds, waves, movement. Yeah, I've seen all that. It's that show, Aliens, is it? Shows aliens. Everything is aliens. Stan Douglas says ice would definitely kill someone with a pacemaker with those shot gloves. Well, that was my point in the beginning. They're gonna give him these Batman shock gloves. I said, oh, and you can foresee no trouble here. Like, no, there'll be trouble within the first fucking week. Somebody will grab somebody by the neck. Christopher says Malva was hot. A bunch of them were hot. What are you talking about? Most of the girls that Jerry dated on Seinfeld were hot. Terry Hatcher was on her, for Christ's sake. Neil says Elaine is the type of broad where she's only hot in certain angles, not a universal hottie. No, but she got a lot of personality, which makes up for that, I think. I mean, no, and I don't agree with you. I think that she is pretty from all the angles, whatever. But it's the personality that makes her hotter. Ken says Elaine is fucking hot. Yes, until she started dancing. Not so hot when she's dancing. I'll give you that. Yes, Neil, Janine Garofalo did used to be hot. And I don't know what happened either. She looks awful now, you see her. It's like, hey, what happened? Neil says, what was that broad's name? Janine Garofalo. She was hot. That just shows you, like, everybody ages different. You don't know. Some people look wonderful when they're older. Some people are Sean Connery, you know what I mean? And then some people are Janine Garofalo. I don't think that she didn't look like she got like bad plastic surgery either. She just looked like she just fucking like aged badly. Or maybe she drank a lot or something. She was hard on herself. Natchez says, I'm pretty sure the Ark of the Covenant is just a battery for the pyramid. Dimensions line up perfectly with some of the tombs, putting it alongside the copper wiring nuclear reactor narrative. Yeah, see? I don't know, man. Natchez says, makes sense, but who stole the gold that lit the thing up? Well, you know, there's lots of theories about that, too. The Ark of the Covenant supposedly in some place in, like, Ethiopia or somewhere, some, like, monastery. There's no one to let them go in there. I saw a thing like that. No, I did not, Neil. Idolize Howard Stern. I'm really a stand-up comic. I'm not a guy who wanted to ever be, like, a radio host. I tell this story all the time if you're new. I'm a stand-up comic. I used to tour and just do comedy. I lived in Vegas. When I wasn't touring, I did security in Vegas, and I'd go back out on the road. And my mom's husband passed away, and my mom is not in the best of health, and I'm her only child. So I had to move home to look after my mother. And so I'm stuck here, and I can't travel and do comedy, so I started doing this. Blue Paul says, no Graham Hancock and Randall Carlson. You should watch some of their interviews. They've gone to Egypt and Göbekli Tape. Super interesting. They talk about the ancients a lot. Yes, no, I've seen his fucking show he has on fucking Netflix. It's all speculative fucking. No, Neil, I did never meet Patrice, but I was friends with Mitch Hedberg. Neil says Patrice is like a martyr to lonely men. He was only right 70% of the time. Nacho says, yep, and everyone who protects it knows it will slowly kill them from radiation. The ones you drop dead in the text probably experience the same due to literally touching a battery, right? Blue Paul says the Ark is real. Everyone near it who guards it gets radiation poisoning, right? But you can't see it. See, that's what I mean. Like, it's real. Well, why can't you see it? Because, like everything like that, if you saw it, it'd be the end of it. You wouldn't talk about it no more. You'd be like, oh, there it is. Can't create a cottage industry of it. Like I said, nothing says about the human beings more than the flat earth thing. That's one of the most eye-opening things I ever saw. When the guy told them the criteria he needed for them to prove. No, Neil. Well, I never saw that. When I saw him, he was off the. I mean, when I became friends with him was when he quit. And he was doing cocaine. He traded one addiction for another. Christopher says, "Did I ever see Bill Hicks?" No. It's one of the greatest regrets of my life. I wish I would see Bill Hicks. I didn't hear about him until after he was dead. Neil says, "I think when he became famous, he had live enablers. People could say they were friends with Mitch." Yes, that is true. That is true. People were lined up outside his green room just to meet him. I mean, huge lines. People they just wanted to meet him, and people handing them drugs the whole time. Everybody's trying to fucking butter him up. Nacho says there'd still be a lot to talk about. If the arc really is the battery for an ancient reactor, it opens the door to who had the knowledge and where are they now. Yes, it does. But I always say my problem. Stewart chimes in. Those days are kind of past me, my friend. No, here's my problem, Nacho, with those shows. And the whole theory is they try to use it for everything. They always say yes, right? They always go on this on the thing. They'll say, Neo says, "What was Mitch like though? Was he a mellow, reserved type, or was he sociable? Could you have a drink with him?" He was mellow, reserved type. But if you were his friend, he's like a regular dude. I will say this, he's one of the most incredibly genuine and nice human beings I've ever seen. I had never seen someone do this before. When we would work at a club, at the end of the week, he would always get paid in cash. That was part of his thing. Anyway, he'd walk around the club and tip every person that works there. Even the dishwashers in the kitchen. Every single person would get a tip from him. And he's the only person I've ever seen do that. Ever. And I don't think I'll ever see someone do that again. Because he really was a one-of-a-kind person. Christopher says, "Did I ever see the comedian Barry Sobel?" Yeah, I think so. The guy that I started giving me my very first comedy work when I first started doing it was named Tom Sobel. I think that he might be related to him. He owned the Comedy Caravan. He was also a... Christopher says Red Fox would get paid in cash too. Yeah, I think it's like, some old school thing. And Hedberg was definitely influenced by the old school comedians, like he wasn't, that's why he was like his own thing. Very unique style. But I said he's influenced by classic stand-up comedy, just a guy standing there talking in the microphone. He didn't have to jump, he didn't have to Dane Cook it, fucking jump. It's like that kind of comedy to me is more like a one-man show. Says, "I heard Mitch didn't fool around with girls either, like most of it." No, he's married to Lynn Showcroft. He was always with Lynn. Remember that joke on his first album when he says, My girlfriend's name is Lynn. I had another girlfriend. Her name was Lynn, but she spelled it with two N's. And she knows which one I'm talking about if I say the N too long. I will say this, and I said, I've never, and people who watch this show all the time, they'll know, and they can attest to this. I don't sit here and brag and say and try to claim that I'm somebody cool and that I try to portray myself as some fancy fucking star or whatever. No, she was always with us. She was always with them. They toured together. See, he didn't like to be alone, He didn't like a lot of people, but he didn't like to be alone either. I got to the point where I was his friend that like he would call me on the phone if he wanted to talk about something. He would call me, and I was always like, I can't fucking believe that this person It's my friend, but if he had some kind of like, um, it's when he didn't go to fucking West Virginia right before he passed away. He didn't show up West Virginia, and everybody was pissed at him. He calls me on the phone. He's like, what should I do? He's asking me for advice. I'm like, why are you asking me for advice? I would say, I said, he paid me lots of money to open up for him, lots of times. It took me lots of places, he was, and we had plans of things we were going to do. Gabe says, nice slit tickler, Haas. Stuart says, comedian Quindale is hilarious. He says it like it is. You know what? I don't really listen to a lot of comedy. I said, I always say this. I try to watch comedy nowadays, like Netflix will put out a special. I'm like, oh, I want to like this. I'll turn it on. And I find myself watching it. I'm like, man, I've been watching this for 10 or 15 minutes and I haven't laughed. And it's not like I hate comedy. Like I want it to be funny, but I'm like, these comics aren't funny. I'm sorry. I don't get it, Neil says, wait, Bruce, are you a born New Yorker? You definitely no, I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio. I did spend some time in New York when I was like 18. But mostly I'm from Ohio, and then I moved to Florida for 10 years. And then I moved home for 10 more, and then I moved out to Las Vegas. That's where I was living when I had to come home. But anyway, I gotta get out of here. It's fucking. Neil says, yeah, I hate crowd work. Crowd work is so hacky. Make fun of a guy who paid for front seats. Yeah, right, exactly. You'd be surprised at how many people want you to. I found through my career in comedy, I've hardly ever had any hecklers. And I don't fucking do that either. I found if you have a crowd, if you have acts, just go up and plow, just start plowing through your act. I'll watch. I'll check him out, Stuart. I'm not saying I wouldn't, There's lots of comics who are funny, but I'm just saying most of those people you got to find in the clubs or in the rooms. The people that are getting on TV aren't funny to me. I'm like, I don't understand what's happened. Like, funny people used to be on TV. These people that are Netflix, especially. I don't know who chooses their things. I think a lot of it is, like I said, podcasters who have big followings, and they call themselves comedians, but it's like I watched Theo Von do stand up, and I tell you this much: I know a guy who loves Theo Von's podcast, listens to it constantly. Went and saw Theo Von and was like, man, he's not very good, doing stand-up comedy. He's like, no, he's not good at stand-up comedy. Stuart says, Don Rickles. They're going way back. Neil says, who's the best female comic in your opinion, Bruce? What, of all time or right now? See, like Nikki Glazer's hot right now, but I just, it's just not my thing. I like the darkness of Sarah Silverman, but Neil says, I was surprised to see Joy Behar stand up because she was actually sort of funny in the late 80s before she became a libtard. I think Joan Rivers is the best, funniest female comic of all time. Nobody's going to be as funny as, Joan Rivers is funny. Stuart says Hillary Clinton. I could never have guessed that you would say that. Unbelievable. All right. As you know, I say all the time, I don't do 3-hour Joe Rogan shows. I try to keep the show at an hour, but we've been doing an hour 20, hour 30. Now we're at an hour 40. So The shows have at least been interesting. Listen, all of you who watch this show, I want to tell you how much I thank you for hanging out with me. And if you haven't done so, please like the channel, subscribe to the show. If you just stumbled upon me today, I'm here every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, United States. If you want to send me a private message, it's Bruce Leonard Leans Left at Outlook.com. I don't beg for money on the show, but I do have a Patreon. If you want to sponsor the show, I will take your money. It's at Bruce Leonard Comedy. It's not a prerequisite. My stand-up comedy album, it's called Cancel Culture. It's available on the homepage of the YouTube page. You can listen to it for free. Please do. If you like it, please share it with your friends. Tell people about the show. If you like the show, share it on your social media. Again, I'm here every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, United States. I'd like to thank everybody who hangs out with me and my regular people, even Stewart, Blue Apollo, people that it seems like I'm being rough on, but really, they're all right. We're here to have a conversation, like I said. I'm not here to fucking try to change your mind about anything. Although it would be nice if, as a country, we woke up and got some fucking sense. But I don't think that's going to happen. So I said, we're on the doom train and we're going to ride it. Until then, I said, I'll be back on Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, United States. Until then, please take care of yourselves. And again, I'm here Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, United States. Please like the channel, subscribe to the show. And thank everybody that watches. I really appreciate it. If you love someone, tell them. And we'll be back Friday. Thank you.
Something new to see. I guarantee I'd be the first to be standing there, bathed in that light. Until that day, I'll keep my eyes shut tight. I do not want to pick a fight. I feel more